Hello everybody, Levi Clay here, and this is just a short video to tell you about a passion project that I've been putting together, a bit of a parts caster that I've been putting together over the last year. So I'd like to introduce you to my new toy. We're calling this the Fenduh Keycaster. More about the Fenduh aspect of it in a second. So what is this instrument? Well, I was scrolling Instagram, as you do, and I saw Geppetto's Guild making these wonderful Telecaster bodies out of actual vintage piano keyboards. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar, I have been playing the piano now for over 5 years. I started playing piano seriously about 5 years ago, and I have progressed with my piano playing to a point where I can't really say I consider it my main instrument, but it is the instrument that I gig on the most. So I'm out playing piano duet gigs often, and I love the piano. It's just really sort of opened up music for me. And, you know, link in the description to Pianote, which is the website where I learnt to play the piano. You can get a 30-day free trial there. Well worth checking out. I love those guys. So go and check that out. Anyway, so very passionate about the piano. I'm even actually wearing a Bill Evans t-shirt, jazz pianist. So the idea of sharing that love and passion for the piano when playing the guitar seemed quite appealing. So I had Geppetto's Guild make me one of their piano guitars. Now, they just made the body for me. And the basic idea behind what they do is they take vintage, old, you know, no longer used piano keyboards, and they cast them in resin. So they cut out Telecaster shapes, cast them in resin, which results in a very heavy guitar. Spoilers, this guitar is over 12 pounds. Very heavy. It's boat anchor style. After that, it was a case of getting the hardware that I wanted for it. So I thought it would be really nice to go for this gold and ebony and ivory thing, which felt very much like a piano. So aside from the back, where we've got this lovely ebony control cover, it's golds and whites. So how did we finish this thing off? Well, first I went to my friends over at Green Pickups, and they made me a set of these Telecaster pickups, which they thought would be ideal for what I'm going for. Then we have gold Wilkinson hardware for the bridge and the neck pickup cover. There's a gold cavity plate on there. It's not really a downside, but what you'll notice about this guitar is that I have to front mount the jack, because by putting a jack socket in the side, you would be able to see that through the resin, and I didn't want that. I thought that would be really ugly. So we're having to front mount for the jack socket. We have two knobs, as you would expect, volume and tone, and then a three-way selector. I went with a Gibson-style selector because I thought on this it would be a little bit easier to maneuver, but also because of the nature of the plate having the jack socket on there, we have a little bit less space, so one of those Gibson-style three-ways felt a little bit more appropriate. After that, we went to Warmouth for the neck. So this was a custom-spec'd neck. It's a flame maple neck with a black ebony board. I've also got, and it's hard to tell at this distance, but I have gold frets on there, gold fret wire, and also binding. So it's bound with that white ivory look, which I think really helps to make that fretboard pop. I think it's lovely. And again, just paying tribute to that kind of piano, the ebony and ivory aspect of the piano. Headstock, we have these Spurzle locking tuners. I went for plain gold. I did toy with the idea of going for some that had white tuning keys on them, but they were actually harder to source than you would think. And with regards to the rest of the neck, the only thing that is worth noting is when the guitar showed up, the neck originally had a maple cap on the front. And I decided when I put it on the body, it looked a bit off. I thought it would be really interesting to have a headstock that matched the wood look down here. So I had my tech Davey actually apply a stain to the headstock of the guitar. And it's, as you can see, just on the very front of that headstock. He's done an incredible job. And at a distance, you would think this says Fender, but actually, on closer inspection, it says Fenduh, because this isn't a Fender guitar, and I wouldn't want anybody to think it is. So it's I have a Fenduh decal on there, Fenduh Keycaster. So this is my Keycaster. I have loaded it up with Optima gold strings to really take it to the next level in terms of that gold aesthetic. It is undeniably a cool guitar. It is a fascinating little piece of musical history. I have technically both a new and vintage instrument now, because the piano that this guitar was made from is older than any of my guitars. So it really feels like I'm carrying on with some of that musical tradition. Downsides of the guitar are, as I say, it is very heavy, like astonishingly heavy, because the resin is very weighty. But I don't think that really impacts the tone in any way. I'm one of those firm believers that tone comes from your pickups, your speaker, the microphone picking up your sound, etc. So with my green pickups, I'm not worried about the tone at all here. Beyond that, it's a Telecaster. It feels like a Telecaster. It feels like a heavy Telecaster. It plays like a Telecaster. I played a little bit in the intro there, but just to give you the basic idea, shock horror on a Telecaster, we have a Spanky Bridge pickup. As you would expect. We have a jazzier neck sound, but not as jazzy as you would get from, say, a humbucker. But you can still... yeah, you can get a jazzier tone out of it. And then, of course, those middle positions, they are nice for the... I play in a soul band, and I probably won't be gigging with this because it's extremely heavy. But that middle pickup position is a wonderful one because it gives us some more of that funky rhythm sound. It's not quite Strat funky, but we can still get, if I was going... So it totally does the job for that, and I'd be happy with that. But for me, I think, I'll be honest, this is a neck pickup guitar. This is one that I will play jazzier lines on. This is one that I will play Bach on, because as you may have seen, I did release a book on Bach, and it had one of these guitars on the cover. I was hoping I was going to have mine in time, but it actually took a fair bit longer to get one. So how can you go about getting one of these for yourself? Well, you could approach Geppetto's Guild if you want to wait an eternity, but that's realistically the only way that you're going to get something like this. All in all, I think I'm about a year into this project to actually have this thing come together. And at times it was hard. At times I was like, what the hell am I waiting for here? But to have this moment where you get to hold this monster, play it, and just, I'm not going to be overly emotional and say experience, nearly 100 years of musical history that's contained with, no, it's resin. But it's nice and inspiring to be able to sit and play something that has a bit of a nod to the thing that I'm passionate about, which is music, guitar, and the piano. If you've enjoyed this and want to know more about this, well, I don't have a whole lot of videos talking about the guitars I own because I don't really care so much about the gear side of things. I care a whole lot more about the playing side of things. If you would like to learn more about that, then check out the link in the description to my own teaching website, guidedpracticeroutines.com, the best place for you to learn and practice, because at guidedpracticeroutines.com we practice together to progress faster. We have getting on for 20 courses over there. There's over 200 hours of video content and full practice routines where we literally do all of the practice together. We learn the thing and then we practice. So go and check us out. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you have any questions about this or you want to know about any of my other guitars, leave me a comment below and I'll see you for another video soon. Laters.